Buenos dias, amigos. We're about to embark on a at least 2-day, 1-night adventure through the Indonesian archipelago.
We're going to Sumbawa, and on this trip, you guys are going to join us for some free diving, maybe spearfishing if the kids will allow it. We do have 2 kids on board, which has been chaotic. The goal is to get closer to the whale sharks, which you'll be diving with us next week.
So stick around to the end where I'm going to give an honest review on this boat and boats that are similar to this after our experience on board.
If you'd joined us last week with our hour-long special, you'd have met Riley's mum, aka Grandmama, and seen what an incredible week we had island hopping. Within 24 hours, we were to say goodbye to one guest and welcome another. Yeah, hop off the bed. No monkeys jumping on the bed. Whoa!
No more monkeys jumping on the bed.
I guess I feel pretty bad that Forrest and Riley are having to clean the entire bilge today. I would be participating, but I'm watching the kids. Are you cheeky boys driving somewhere?
Yeah!
That's very naughty.
Yeah.
Get back here.
No!
And Darl's in a bit of a mood. I don't know what's worse. You right? Her eye. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, show me which one. This one? The boat we're on at the moment, it's actually a friend's. We're just borrowing it. We'd much rather be on a tiny boat than in any form of house on land. We left our catamaran 8 months ago. Can you believe that? It's been so long. We're craving the ocean. We will do anything to get out there, even if it means cleaning an oily bilge. And our friend Forrest is going to be joining us. So Forrest is back, everyone.
Yeah,
welcome
can't get rid
back.
of me. Thank you.
So we actually got him to go and grab some fresh produce, so the boat's full.
I have 3 people working for me. How well did they pack those boxes?
Yeah, they're heavy.
Box of bricks.
What's in it? Eggs? I hope there's no eggs in here. Oh, egg.
I think alright, yeah.
They look fine.
I guess this boat, it's got character, hey?
Yeah,
That's amazing, the windows and everything.
so dangerous. That's like glass as well, not perspex.
Right.
If a wave hits it, that's bilge pump aft. I'm just gonna let that pump for now. So I just want to clean up in the bilge as good as I can. It's pretty filthy. Get most of the sludge or a lot of the sludge up so I can see if it's leaking and from where, and if it is diesel or just water. Clean this out and then I can see if it's filling up again, and if it is, then I'll have to figure out where from. That looks better. There's far less water in there now, but I think what I do think is that we're fine, which is good because I didn't think that yesterday, Forrest.
Did it look like it was proper oil leak?
Dude, it was up to the bottom of the engine. She was slopping around, the whole boat stank. Perfect. Having a shower was filling this up. Torrent never uses this. He said they shower outside. So Elena has been, which has filled this up and then overflowed here, which has filled up all of the bilge and the aft bilge. This sits in here. It's supposed to float, come on automatically. That kicks in and you don't need to worry about it. So that's broken. I'm just looking at different anchorages. There's nothing on the northwest coast, which is where I'd like to stop because we want to go from here. We want to start heading that way towards the whale sharks. That looks great. The charts and sea maps don't show much of anything here. There's actually a good anchorage and a few small breaks in the reef, but we want to get there early, dude. Like, we don't want to be getting there for sunset. Yep, 30 miles,
Sick.
10 hours.
Nice. 10 hours.
To anyone who might have been stuck in a bit of a rut lately, this is just a reminder that usually all it takes is to go for a run, go sit in a sauna, meditate. Doesn't take long to snap out of it, and then you'll be back on your feet again. I'm really excited to share with you today's sponsor, which is Athletic Greens, which we've been drinking daily for over a year now. Have definitely felt a boost in energy levels. Such a relief to know that we're getting all that we need for the day. It has 75 vitamins and minerals in here, whole food source ingredients, pre and probiotics for your gut health, adaptogens, antioxidants, and it's so easy to make. It's such an easy habit to get into. It's just 1 scoop for every 8 ounces of water. And what I love is Athletic Greens make little travel packs, so we can pop them in backpacks. Obviously super good if you're going on a hike or on board. I've got my mum on Athletic Greens. I've got her subscriptions, all my friends, and I've heard nothing but such positive feedback. And my friend actually described AG1 to me the other day as tasting a bit like a pineapple, which was so accurate. I don't know why I haven't thought of this before, but yeah, it's a really nice nice flavour, nothing too hectic. So if you are yet to try Athletic Greens, do not hesitate, and they have a really great offer for you guys. They're going to give you 5 of those wicked sick travel packs, as well as a year's supply of their vitamin D3 and K2, all for free with your first purchase today. I'll pop the link in the description below. Take advantage, guys. Thanks so much, Athletic Greens. We love y'all.
About to head off, packed up, we've got our water, got our food for the most part. The kids are on board, Elaine is putting Darwin to sleep, Lenny's not doing his homework, he's on cartoons at the moment. We'll sort that out in a minute. Lifting this up, start the engine, check out the bilge, make sure that's all fine, have a good look at the engine, and then go.
I'm going to make oats. Do you want some?
I'm all good for now, thanks.
Riley, do you want oats to lower your cholesterol?
I reckon that by now my cholesterol would already be fine. It was just above before.
What's your biological age?
My biological age is 39.9, and Elena, who is 10 years younger than me, her biological age is 38.7.
You've made me old. It's hanging around you. That's all that's happened. He's too old.
It's from stressing yourself out, mate, and I've been trying to get you to chill for...
It's definitely stress.
Alright, we're free!
There's a shallow patch here with, and none of the charts are good.
Babe, there's coral heads here. I wouldn't go over. That looks shallow. Riley was just about to go over a bit of a shallow reef, but I saw some coral heads. It's pretty dodgy navigating around here. A guy from the marina ran around just the other day. Either side of the mooring field is reef that is not marked. How many nautical miles are we motoring today? 40 nautical miles today. At what speed?
Plan for 3.
Okay.
If we get there, you know, tomorrow or the next day or whatever, I'll be happy.
So Riley and I did one of those extensive blood tests where they check you for a bunch of biomarkers. I had like an 81% overall health, but the biomarkers that were bad, which was like 8 of them, put me at risk and has obviously increased my biological age. For someone who considers themselves fairly healthy, I do try my best like every day. To see that I was biologically 10 years older than I was just switched something in my mind, and no excuses now. I'm just doing everything I can to bring that age down. I still feel great, like I have energy. I think it was probably the stress. It just goes to show that stress, yeah, can really kill you. I have the things I need to improve and ways to improve it, supplements to take, and I'm taking it very seriously. We're all on a bit of a health kick at the moment. We actually bought a whole bunch of just real clean food. Meals are going to be really simple, and I love it. We're all into it.
Chickpea salad. It's really good. Very simple, very healthy.
Not the kids, they won't be participating.
So I'm just looking at the localized radar, and there's a storm building. I can see it here and up ahead. See the top is blowing off it, and there's one which we're going to miss, and then the one behind it is a bit of a worry. So you can see what's on the port side. It's kind of moving at us, but also south. So we're going to miss that, but we'll probably get hit by this. This is smaller, but it's going to hit us. We've got 4 downdraft clouds in a row, so the wind is spilling out from them. They're the nexus of the power of the wind. So when we get on the other side, because it's still apart from these squalls that are all in a line, which is really interesting. When it hits land, they're dissipating as well. So on the other side, we should have wind behind us as we go. We're relying on pretty much just the engine because the boat doesn't sail heaps well. I've got a lee shore here, but I know I can just turn around and sail with it if I need to. In a moment we might be able to, the wind is coming from directly ahead of us. We're coming up to the top end of Lombok, and we'll be able to peel off slightly this way, and then we'll be able to unfurl a bit of the head sail, which will give us enough momentum to be going along. But at the moment we're doing about 2.5 knots. About an hour ago I was like, we might have to turn around and go back. That would be a horrible thing to have to tell Elena when she wakes up. One of the reasons it was making me think that we might not get there is behind this squall, another one has popped up, and then another one on the radar. If they end up coming directly at us and we get them on the nose, I mean, we can't keep going at 2 knots. That's just not gonna. Or we motor all night. Forrest and I discussed before. But yeah, hopefully something changes.
It was about this moment when we remembered the potential buoyancy of monohull life. For 8 hours, the conditions were relentless, and Calypte slammed into each wave as we moved painfully slowly, kind of forwards.
The sun went down. I now wish that we left and 2 hours earlier than we did. Unfortunately, we're coming up to this anchorage at night time. We definitely can't go in. It's just a rocky reef. We can't go in there at night time. I need to make a decision as to if we anchor like in the middle of a channel, in the middle of nowhere, or keep going, because it just might be so gross that Forrest and I would just prefer to motor all night. Here in Indonesia it's reef and then it just drops off to 50 metres. If we find a nice little spot, then we'll anchor there.
Yeah, I'm just stoked that the boat's not bouncing around anymore. It's been, I don't know how many, we have 8 hours of just like slogging in short period wind swell, so it feels good to be cruising.
Yeah, we've got about 20 minutes till we got to anchor. He brings me dinner and I have a bite. It's just covered in salt.
Beggars can't be choosers, alright?
Yeah.
Settle down. Sorry, I'm just awkwardly going to eat out of the pot now.
I'm going to need to drink like a litre of water after this. My tongue's gone all bumpy.
Go sparingly on the water, we ain't got much.
I can see lightning ahead of us and I can see this squall on the radar. We're going to be anchored here and I can see this coming. We're outside of the anchorage in the channel. So if this thing comes over our head and brings wind down the channel, it'll be potentially dangerous.
What's happening?
The anchor's jamming on the way out. Captain's not happy about it.
There we go.
Just a bit of bloody muscle, mate.
That Jamie Oliver pasta sauce got you good.
It goes from 36 to 20 right there.
Forrest, we're going to a different spot.
Okay, cool.
It just really jumped up like there was a cliff.
Lots of people anchored, which is a good sign at least, I guess. This is so funny, we've pulled up about 150 metres away from this beach party. Big speakers and a bonfire. It's classic because the music is that loud that I'm genuinely going to struggle to hear Riley's commands on dropping the anchor in a minute. What are the chances we finally find a nice spot and there's a beach party rave happening about 100 metres away?
I know, it's crazy, hey? I think it's too steep to anchor here, mate.
Yeah, right.
Kids woke up at 4:30 this morning, or Darwin did, and wanted to climb in my bed. But we all had a good sleep, kind of. I just wanted to mention what a struggle yesterday was. Is Mama naughty? Am I? I could barely move, and I'm thankful for Riley and Forrest. I always said I'd be one of those parents that never put their kids on an iPad, but that actually saved me yesterday. I couldn't have entertained. The motion of motoring compared to sailing is just so much worse. I think if we were heeled over, it would have been nice if we were just bouncing around. It was horrible. So I survived, started to question my life, as you do when you're seasick every single time. For those of you who have been seasick, just remember, it's momentary. Don't make any big life decisions whilst you're seasick. You think the world is ending when you're seasick. I just want to give a tip to some parents if you're looking for some good educational games. ABC Mouse, Khan Academy, and Lingo Kids. So good, kept them entertained for hours.
When we came in, there was a heaving party on the beach, and we're leaving this morning and there's still a heaving party on the beach going on.
You're getting pimples on my... Cheers, mate. I mean, thank you. I'm very confused.
Me too, you should have heard my video I took this morning. The motion of... Sorry, I haven't had a coffee.
Don't remember to subscribe the video and like me.
Everybody turn the steering wheel round!
I just ran aground. I don't know, I was looking at the weather and the currents and the times and the waves and everything, and we just ran aground. Luckily it was mud.
Sticky mud.
So we just went through.
Hallelujah! Oh my god, we're out! We're out!
It was so
minimal.
It felt really soft, like I didn't hear a scrape.
I thought something was dragging off the back.
So we were lucky to get away with that one. I checked the Navionics charts, but not the Google Earth, and they're so different here in Indonesia that you definitely need to check the Google Earth ones, which I knew.
The steering wheel, remember?
We got it on autopilot again, but this time I'm paying attention. Yep, 6.8 knots. Incredible.
Pretty wild smoke coming from the top of Rinjani.
Yeah, it does look like volcanoes erupting. That doesn't look like cloud.
Glad we're heading in the right direction.
Yeah, imagine.
Yeah, apple. Nice work.
Marlin!
What?
Oh,
Marlin!
massive Marlin! Oh my god, it's jumped out right there.
I saw the splash, babe. Holy
No
crap.
way! I was just looking out the side and a 200 kilo Marlin just jumped out of the water. That's why I got up here, because I saw a little bit of activity up ahead. There's another little splash there.
Oh,
Another one.
Oh,
Oh, whoa, whoa!
tuna.
Fire escape the spear gun.
I'll get a GoPro ready. Darwin, you're coming with me.
Oh, there's my hat! Yes! Sick!
Let's hope the fish come. Whilst the fleeting presence of the marlin and tuna was incredibly exciting to witness on the surface, all life disappeared upon diving in.
No, you can't go in, mate.
The swim was just what we needed though, a nice little reset. Nothing but just balloon.
Can Darwin come in?
I think he should come for a jump, yeah.
Go!
Good job! Good job, now grab the ladder behind you.
Hello!
Sadly didn't see anything when we were diving, but the water's just so blue. That reminded me of jumping in the water when we crossed the Atlantic. We've done it on every Atlantic crossing. I think there's been 3, and a North Atlantic crossing, a Pacific crossing. It is just essential that you jump in the water thousands of meters. You feel like you're in awe. It's a really humbling feeling, just being a tiny speck in thousands and thousands, millions of liters of water. Clear water too, thank goodness. I'm so excited to get to Sumbawa. If we see whale sharks on the way coming in, I will lose. Looking good, Forrest.
Not just a pretty face, huh?
You got the big one.
Yeah, I'm about to offer Elena some more, I swear.
Oh, unbelievable. The wind, which was obviously earlier when we were jumping in the water, was just 0. There was a line on the water and you can see there was white caps on the other side, which is what we're seeing here now, and there was just 15 knots and there was just a perfect line across the water. It was pretty strange, I don't often see that. We've got 15 miles to go until we're at this island here. I don't know if I'm allowed to anchor. We'll arrive during the day, so we'll be able to maybe radio some people on land. I don't know what to do when I get to this island here. If there's a mooring ball, we'll pick that up for sure. This island blocks this inland waterway, or a large body of water that's connected to the ocean behind this island, and this island blocks the entrance to that water. I'm sure there's going to be a furious current in the 2 passes. That's where we need to go through to get to the whale sharks. It's been a beautiful day.
Not like so.
It's okay. All the fruit and veggies tasted like soap. We got a whole bunch of produce. What we could find at the markets on the side of the road, but what was from the supermarket tastes like soap. I think we're okay.
There's a day tank and there's a port and starboard fuel tank. The engine runs off the day tank, so every now, which is 65 litres, which we're using. We ran out of fuel before. We were just starting to get close and I was like, we need to transfer more fuel. We put it in neutral, transferred fuel, so we're operating off the day tank and then we got to pump in from either side. So we're probably going to be anchoring in 15 to 20 metres, which I'm not used to. That's just Indonesia. We're in pretty close, the wind's coming this way, so it's a nice little protected spot. I'm just not used to anchoring on things like this in 20 metres.
Okay, good to go?
Yep.
Drop it, Forrest!
I just found out with a drone that we anchored in the perfect spot. Well done.
I did an amazing job. I did. That was an accident.
We weren't far from the entrance now, to the giant bay in Sumbawa where the whale sharks awaited us. But for now, we plan to stay on anchor here and make the most of this idyllic island. Riles, Forrest and I now had some time on our hands to give you guys our full thoughts and opinions about buying a monohull under $100,000.
I would love if people in the comments could give links to information on boats that are around this price point. I'm going to be in the comment section on this one, going through and thanking people for sending information in and ticking things, and I might pin some if they're really good links to boats in this price point. More blogs and forums and stuff like that where people can just go in and snatch the information that they need. Because the way that I see it, you can either go an old boat like this, which is really beautiful, like astonishingly beautiful, but that doesn't sail that well. And I've been over a lot of the negatives about this boat and it has many, many positives as well. Again, links to that sort of information would be greatly appreciated. Or you could go the more production, newer boat, and it's still going to be second hand at around 100 grand. But now I've got concerns about build quality. So for example, the rudder on our Beneteau just disintegrated. It's easier for me to look at a boat like a Rapido, some of these incredibly expensive multi-hulls and go, yeah, like that's kind of perfect. It's built very strong, it's really fast, you can get out of harm's way, and I feel really comfortable and confident saying, yeah, you've made an excellent decision. I have no problem at all pointing you in that direction. Here, which is much more realistic, right? This is what many people are going around the world in. You're having to make a lot more compromises. The one thing that I would say about this boat is that I would caution myself, because it is so beautiful, that you need to be careful that you're not holding aesthetics over function. And I would say that of this boat and then a lot of other more classically designed boats where your eyes are just drawn to them and your mouth sort of opens and you're just like, oh my God, what a thing of beauty. But less so for this one and more for the other more classically designed older wooden boats. The maintenance is just insane. Again, at this price point, there's nothing out there that's kind of perfect, and it would depend heavily on where you want to sail. In Indonesia, where there's not much wind, we've been motoring the entire time. We have not pulled out the mainsail. So with a few modifications in colder climates with much more wind, that thing there would be an absolute beast. And it's doing a great job here, but you just got to make peace with the fact that you're motoring a bit or a lot. I just really love to be getting places sailing, but that's just simply not an option for many people. The only really interesting point that I can think of would be the aesthetics over function. And I know Elena's got a lot to say about this boat.
So I'm going to say something different. So for the mamas out there, or maybe mamas to be, people looking at maybe sailing in the future with a family that doesn't yet exist, I would just say one thing: just head to the local sail club, see if you can go for a sail if you haven't been before. I don't want to hermit crab down my shirt, oh my God. And see if you love it, because your world really does get a lot smaller under passage. You gotta love the mayhem. It can be really full on in the middle of it. It is always so rewarding though afterwards, but like, it's not for everyone. So do get out there and try it before you go off buying a boat. That's all I could say about that. So for someone who had a boat very similar to Calypte, what's your experience on the subject?
Yes, I think it's really challenging when you're on a budget, because you have to decide between having something that is going to like sail really well, is faster, goes to windward better, or you can then go the other way where it's much more seaworthy but it's slower, you can't sail into the wind as well. So Calypte is really similar to my boat, where it has a full keel, really heavy for how big it is, and for such a small boat it's very seaworthy, the motion, and
well made, hey?
Yeah, so the biggest difference being with the keel design, old school boats with a full long keel have the rudder completely protected, so the rudder's not vulnerable, and the keel as well. So if you do hit something, like whether you be unlucky and you hit a container in the middle of the ocean, instead of having a keel that's just bolted on, the keel is actually part of the hull of the boat, and therefore it's basically, you're going to be fine. But yeah, with that massive long full keel comes with being slower. And then also the other downside of a full keel old school boat is that when you're in reverse, you've got almost next to no control, whereas a modern boat that pivots off a fin keel, it's just like reversing a car almost. The propeller, the way it's set up, will either kick to port or starboard when you're in reverse because of the prop walk, and so you end up having to just shuffle forward backwards, you know, to try and act, like in a marina. I remember I got probably all the grey hairs I got on my chin are probably from me trying to reverse through marinas in Europe on a full keel boat, because it's really hard. And into the wind is such a big one. This boat really needs 15 knots to get going, so that's a pretty major downside, that you end up motoring more potentially.
Woo! Yeah, now let's get to the beach.
Yeah, we might be able to get some food up over here, but we're not sure. Man, look at this. It's deep. Good evening, sir. How are you? Very good. We've just anchored up over here on a yacht, and we were wondering if we could come in for dinner.
It's possible because now it's still not open. Maybe
Okay.
I will ask someone that if it's possible for you to get dinner sometime.
That would be great. Yeah, we would really appreciate it.
What'd you find, Darwin? Where's the crab? Oh.
There, you find it, yeah.
We were so tired, none of us could be bothered cooking. We weren't allowed at the restaurant. They're not open till tomorrow. Typical. We half expected this to happen. But we're all so tired, so we didn't really cook much. I fried some tofu, crispy fried tofu, and just a mixed salad, tuna with some olive oil and salt, and that's it. Really nothing special. You've been asking and we're delivering. You won't want to miss next week's hour-long episode. There's a whole load of whales and, of course, unexpected drama. See you guys soon, and please don't forget to subscribe if you're new here. It's free, and hit that like button and leave us a comment. Much love.
Wait,
from
Elena,
Little
can you grab
Vagabond.
this bag? The boat's dragging.